Welcome to the Leadership Lovers Podcast. I'm your host, Will Gladhart, CMO at the Culture Think Tank. At the Culture Think Tank, we empower leaders with metrics that strengthen culture, drive performance, and return. We're here today to learn about the actions leaders have taken to address organizational change. Today, our guest is Andrew Abraham, CEO and co-founder at HeyBuddy. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I've been looking forward to this time together.
Absolutely. Let's begin by having you share with our audience a bit about yourself, your background, and your organization.
Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Andrew Abraham. I'm the CEO and co-founder of HeyBuddy. HeyBuddy is a customer consciousness tool. So what we've created is a virtual shopkeeper that integrates into CPG and e-commerce websites to have real-time conversations with customers who are visiting your website. And we turn those conversations into analytics and insights for your company to better speak to its ICP. So what we mean exactly by that is deriving insights from the conversation and being able to help you in your sales, marketing, and advertising approaches. Prior to HeyBuddy, I was serving on as a CFO of a metabolically healthy chocolate company called Sinless Treats Chocolate. And other than that, I'm a proud UT alum.
Very nice. I like that you described in depth that the type of technology and type of company that you provide, but also I think that's a huge benefit to not only your end user and customer to be able to understand who it is they're talking to, what they actually want from you as a leader and also as a organization. So we'll be discussing 3 questions today as a warm up to our conversation. Could you share with us why you believe a healthy culture is critical?
Yeah, I mean, some time ago, it was like a few years ago, there was a graph out there that went super viral. And basically what it depicted was the amount of time we spend with our parents. And then there's a myriad of other graphs that came out shortly after that graph the amount of time we spend with our parents, our friends, our family, and all sorts of different categories of our communities after the age of 20. And quickly I realized that that time with the people that we love the most declines. So where does it go? It goes towards work. If you're a
Right.
normal person and you're working an 8 to 5, you're looking about 40 hours. And to just keep that in with respect to the total hours you have every week, that's 168 hours in the week. So almost a fourth is spent. Now, if you're like Will and you're in the private equity space, you're probably spending anywhere upwards of 60, 80 plus hours a week. And so what that means to me is the people that you work with are not your company, and the interactions with them are not just company culture. That really does become your family. And so to me, it's, you're not just picking your company, you're picking your family. And as a leader of my organization, I feel this huge weight, this huge responsibility in curating a good company culture, because what we're doing is we're actually curating a large part of people's lives. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think I believe that's a really great point. We don't realize, many of us don't realize how many hours we do spend at work with our fellow coworkers. And as a leader, you certainly are shaping that entire experience. And as your company grows also, it's been our experience that leaders tend to struggle in 3 key areas: people, process, or profit. In your role as CEO, could you identify which of these areas presented a cultural challenge? And sometimes it's a combination of multiple P's.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the biggest thing is process for sure. Being a young entrepreneur, I'm still kind of really learning and just to kind of preface, I think there are 4 infinity stones when it comes to being the best CEO out there, right? So the first one is understanding finance and accounting. The second one is sales and marketing. The third one is law, because you have to understand the frameworks in which your business can operate. And the last one to me is organizational behavior and management. And so as a young entrepreneur and as a leader who's emerging, I'm getting, really accustomed to learning great processes that actually work within my organization. So Will, just to give you an insight about me, I'm obsessed with the Porsche 911 Turbo S. That is my dream car, and I'm so obsessed with it. I know one day it's going to happen. And when we look at the MSRP, right, it's 230,000. So that's profit. Porsche has a clear idea of how much they're going to
Right.
make off each sale. Then you have obviously people. You have the parts, you have the engineers, you have everything in between. But the car doesn't get built without a process. So what I've learned quickly as an entrepreneur is you can have star players and they can be highly intelligent, very talented people. And you can also have a great offer, right? As a company, you might have a great, B2B SaaS solution like we do at HeyBuddy. But without the right process, you fail to deliver to your end user. Without that, the others don't really matter too much. And so with my own experiences, it's been process for sure.
Okay, I think that's really valid. And I like that you use that Porsche example as a goal because that car didn't get to the dealership floor by just happenstance and just show up. There were a lot of different pieces, just like your organization. There's a lot of pieces that happen before there's even deployment of a product or a solution. As you kind of reflect on that, what challenges impacted you either positively or negatively as you have been leading, as you've been growing, Hey Buddy, etc.?
For me, it was, let's call it a suboptimal experience because I don't necessarily see things are bad or good because we learn from them. But it
Hmm.
was suboptimal that at the very start of Hey Buddy, I went on this hiring spree because I thought people was the most important thing, right? Like I need to get all the most talented people in the world that I can find and who I can quote unquote afford. And what happened then was they weren't delivering the results that I had hoped as a leader. And so quickly, I was thinking like, maybe I over indexed on their agency, or maybe I over indexed on their ability to be a self starter. I'd take a step back and meditate on it. I go, no, that's the wrong modality of thought as a leader. As a leader, I believe in radical accountability. And so I quickly realized I myself, as the leader of an organization, had not laid out the proper foundation, i.e., the right processes in which these people can come together and, start to progress and start to grow within my organization. And so hiring too quickly taught me that without the right process in play, you can have the right people, but they're not going to go in the right direction without proper process. And so that's what I learned very quickly, and I was very glad to learn very early on at our company.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. It's very difficult for people to understand their role and also become self leaders if they don't have clarity from you as the leader about the next steps, the direction, what the process is. So I think that's a really great lesson for other leaders to not only reflect on, but think about how their choices and decisions, whether that's in hiring, whether it's in process, impacts the entire organization. What was maybe the one thing that you identified to help impact your culture positively?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was really being able to meditate and really start embodying what is commonly known as servant leadership. So
Mhm.
often, whenever we talk about it in society, CEO or leader, these are these like honorable roles that we elevate, right? And I
Right.
think that the right leader does the opposite. He descends from his ivory tower, comes down and understands everybody. So what I mean more precisely is if you're listening and you're a CEO or you're a leader, look to serve those that you work with. Ensure that they feel seen, heard, and loved. And when it comes to hiring the right people, one of the questions I now ask, given my experiences and what I've learned, is ask them about their personal mission and agency in life. And the right talent for you is not the right person that can come in and take an interest in what your mission is, but the person whose personal mission is so aligned with your company that joining your organization and supporting what's going on is one to one directly correlated to their personal mission in life. And
Mhm.
so, with that, it's actually being able to understand them and to build a real relationship with them where you can both become vulnerable and you can align, again, the company's mission and their mission and make it one thing. So everyone shows up happy and ready to go. And so that all comes from a heart of servant leadership where you look to serve those who are around you and to truly understand them as you go.
Yeah, I love that. We've had several CEOs recently mention that shift to thinking about and also asking either prospective employees or current staff members, how do you fit? How do we align with what your personal mission is, whether it's career goal, whether it's giving back, whether it's volunteering, those elements, and then wrapping that in because that becomes part of the overall culture, but it also becomes the ethos of the organization. As we wrap up today, is there anything else, Andrew, that you'd like to share or add for fellow leaders?
Yeah, well, if I was given a mega megaphone and I could speak to every leader in the world, every entrepreneur in the world, my message is very simple. Whenever I speak and get to spend time with the most prolific investors, entrepreneurs, and leaders, they have one thing in common. There is this overarching theme or idea that it echoes in the chambers of their hearts. And often it's when they're young and they grow up and they keep on forward. And so what this means to me when I think about this persistent dream that lies deeply in their soul, I think that entrepreneurship is and leadership is a deeply spiritual game. Everything that we are called to work on, like our soul gravitate towards, these are what I believe in my heart, in my soul. This is the divine ordination of the creator being unraveled in real time. And so if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, is understand how deeply spiritual this quote unquote game is. guard your heart, really dig deep into your heart and ensure that everything you do is correlated to your highest and most authentic slash genuine self. And when you do that, not only do you start working on the problems that actually mean something to you and matter the most, but the way that you do it is so you, it's so human that you naturally get to solve most of the problems that come your way, meaning the right people will gravitate towards you. The right customers will align with the way that you speak, communicate, and serve them. The right investors will see your energy and go, hey, I want to get behind that person. So just realize it's a deeply spiritual game. Guard your heart, guard your soul, and never give up.
Yeah, I love that. Andrew, I've enjoyed having you on the Leadership Lovers podcast. Thank you, and I appreciate your insights.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Take care, Will.
Thank you for joining us on the Leadership Lovers podcast. Find all our Leadership Lovers episodes on the Culture Think Tank website at www.theculturethinktank.com or listen on your favorite streaming platform. We'd love to hear from you about the challenges you have faced as a leader. Tune in weekly as we invite leaders to share their experiences in strengthening culture and performance, one action at a time.